My name's Dave DeBow, founder of MoneyPartnerFormula.com, and this show is built for everyday real estate investors who are actively doing deals and looking to scale using other people's money. So if you're an active real estate investor and you want to get featured on this show to talk about your own real estate and capital raising experiences, then just go to daveinterviewyou.com. Now let's get rolling with this episode, and remember to subscribe for daily interview content.
All right, guys, welcome to Property Profits Podcast. I'm your host, Bryce Kaminski, filling in for the fearless Dave DeBow. And have you ever wondered how someone scaled from 2 real estate deals to a whopping 8 to 10 deals every month? Today, my special guest, Jason Lee, the millionaire investor, here to share his journey and the keys to his monthly success. Jason, welcome to the show. Great to have you here.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Bryce. Super excited.
Yeah, it's always great to hear about the velocity that's possible in real estate. But let's rewind it a little bit, because we talked a little bit before the show about your involvement in the military and how you were doing this and that, because I really want people to know that if you're in the military, that you can have a side hustle. So let's rewind it to the beginning and tell me, how'd you get started in real estate?
Absolutely. So I graduated from the Air Force Academy back in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
For those of who aren't familiar with it, it's a college, so you get your undergrad degree, and you also commission as a military officer as well. And the school is free, so you don't pay anything except for you have to serve 5 years in the military, as just basically to pay it back.
Yeah, you pay your time.
Exactly. So I graduated in 2018, and I didn't know anything about real estate, didn't have any experience, anything like that whatsoever. And basically, I just got lucky and stumbled across a podcast. I'm sure you're familiar with the Bigger Pockets podcast.
Yep.
So the one that gets most people into real estate.
Mm-hmm.
So just stumbled across the podcast, gave it a listen, and I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. Like, I feel like I can do this. I don't have any debt, thankfully, because I didn't have any student loans. I have a pretty secure job. So why don't I just give it a try?
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I just read as many books as I could, and I went to meet as many investors that I could, just to learn as much as possible before jumping in.
Yeah, well, it's good that you did, because you've made quite a business out of it. So over those 5 years, I guess you were, doing it on the side. I guess some might say, oh, why didn't you just continue being, in the military and keep doing it as a side hustle?
Absolutely. That's something that I did struggle with, because I didn't know what I really wanted. And I think I was just kind of playing it by ear. Taking each day at a time, really putting in 100% in both the military and the real estate.
Yeah.
And what I came to learn is that I just love real estate. I love the entrepreneurship of it. I love the wealth that you can build through it, the people that you meet through it, just the opportunities that are there.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity in real estate. The line, all wealth is either made or held in real estate. So you might as well get some of that. Now, how did you scale to that? Because, even doing 2 deals a month is pretty good. But when we talk about the velocity of 8 to 10 deals a month, that takes some sort of systems, I imagine.
Absolutely. So when I first started off, I was just I told myself, hey, if I could do 1 deal in the first year, 2 deals in the second year, 4 deals in the next year, just kind of double, that'd be ideal. And so that's what I was kind of doing. I was just doing a few flips or burrs for the first few years. And really in 2021 slash 2022, when I made the decision that I was going to get out of the military, that's when I really decided, hey, I got to put a lot of effort and make this into an actual business. So I ended up partnering with my current business partner. His name's Aaron. We started a business together at the beginning of 2022. And Aaron had been doing direct to seller off market marketing and deals for probably a few years before I jumped into it in 2022. And so he already had some good experience that he brought to the table and some of the systems and processes that he was using. And so I came in there and basically helped him, I guess, scale that. So he's very much, they talk about 2 types of people in business, right? You kind of have the visionary and you have the integrator. Aaron's very much the visionary. He has great ideas, and I'm the guy that just comes and implements it in. So it was at the beginning of 2022. It was just 2 of us running around trying to do everything ourselves. And we were doing pretty well. I would say we're probably doing anywhere from like 2 to 4 deals a month around there. But towards the second half of the 2022, we realized, hey, if we want to grow, we're really going to have to put in some systems and also hire some of this work out, because we
Yeah.
just can't physically go run appointments with sellers and then go check on the rehabs and then go try to
Hmm.
refinance the property stock with lenders. So that's when we decided to start hiring people. And so, yeah, we basically just been slowly hiring people. Right now, we have 4 local employees and then 2 VAs on staff to help us do the deals that we're doing.
Yeah, it definitely. And so I imagine you spend a lot of time now managing those people. Um, but SOPs really do play a big part in scaling. Like what I've noticed for people who've been able to amass scale is that you have to be able to like actually let people do their jobs. You can't be micromanaging these people. Otherwise, you might as well just do the job yourself at that point.
Absolutely. And then that's been a big learning, I guess, opportunity for myself and my partner, Aaron. Before, we were working in the business, doing the weeds. And so it took a
Mm.
lot for us to kind of give control over to those employees and let them help them out, but also let them figure it out for themselves and take true ownership of it. And
Hmm.
so the way we work things now is we have quarterly meetings with them. You know, we set their goals and everything like that. They have
Hmm.
KPIs that they're looking to hit. But other than that, like we let them kind of run with it, and they do an amazing job. And as far as the SOPs, like you mentioned, that those are super important. That's,
Yeah.
to be completely honest with you, we don't have all those written out for the entire business. It's one of those things where we're trying to do it as we run. And
Right.
so that's something that I've been really trying to focus on the past several months. And one of the VAs that I hired is actually, his title is like an SOP writer. So he's
There you
helping to
go.
document those processes. So that way, when we bring someone new on board, they know exactly what to do, screenshots, step-by-step details, everything you would need an SOP.
Yeah, because then you can actually have a business. Because if you're not able to like multiply your time, then now you're just working in the business. You bought yourself a job. So what are you
Mhm.
doing with all these properties?
So last year we were buying most of them, taking them down ourselves, and then either flipping them, keeping as rentals, or wholetailing, which basically is just we actually buy it and then we list it as is on the market. It'll probably end up going to another investor to fix and flip.
Yeah,
But as the market's been shifting, and I don't know how it is up there for you guys, but over here,
shifting.
yeah,
Let's
shifting
call it shifting.
definitely. So
Definitely
with the
shifting.
interest rates rising and stuff slowing, we've noticed that we're trying to shift our business model a little bit more towards wholesaling, just
Mm,
because one, taking off some of the risk, just buying a lot
yeah.
of properties, it's a lot of risk exposure. And then two, as we scale, it was easy to go buy, two, not easy, but it was one thing to go buy 2, 3 properties a month, right? But
Hmm.
once you're doing 8, 9, 10 deals a month, we're limited on a lot of resources, whether that's capital, which is a big one, or that
Hmm.
is risk, or that is contracting labor. All that it comes into play.
Yeah. And that's the thing that's nice is like wholesaling allows you to kind of keep your risk mitigated, but someone's gonna have to buy these things.
Mhm.
Someone's gonna have to buy them, and it's not always as easy. It seems like the buyers have kind of sat down on the bench. No one really wants to jump up and play, and so I think that we're gonna see a shift. Are you guys seeing a shift so far towards the end of 2023, or what are you seeing as far as what this year is gonna look like for your business?
So for us personally, we have tried to push for more wholesaling, and it's something
Hmm.
that we haven't had to do before. We usually just partner with the bigger wholesale institutions to help move the
Yeah.
deals, because we didn't want to, create the processes for vetting buyers and all that sort of
Hmm.
stuff.
Hmm.
But we've come to realize that we just have to sit down and figure that out and do the work.
Yeah.
That's a big shift for us. And then as far as like the market and stuff goes, I mean, stuff's pretty slow, especially here in San Antonio. I think
Hmm.
I saw something that said we're the slowest it's been in like 12 years or so
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
sell side with the interest rates and everything. So with that being said, like we're trying to be super conservative when running our numbers with ARV and the renovations. And we're just
Hmm.
trying to be like, if we're flipping something, we want to be the nicest house at the lowest price point in the entire neighborhood.
Yeah. Instead of being like the cheapest nice house, you want to be the nicest cheap house. Yeah, that's a great strategy. So, um, what what sort of challenges have you had on your way to this? Between 2 properties a month and 8 properties a month, what was a major challenge you guys had to overcome in that journey?
Absolutely. So one, just hiring people and managing people. That's a
Mm.
big one.
Contractors.
Yeah, contractors and the employees that are working with us now. I mean, we love our employees. We feel like we've created some pretty great company culture. But
Mm-hmm.
it's hard for us because at the end of the day, the employees, they'll never, I guess, do things exactly how you want them to do.
Yeah.
And they, at the end of the day, it's not their business. So, they're not going to put in 110% all the time like you do.
Yeah.
So just trying to learn how to manage people, because managing projects is one thing, managing people is something completely different. So I would
Mm-hmm.
say that's been a big challenge. And then two is just kind of being flexible and trying to change with the market. I was talking about wholesaling. One big thing that's taken a hit for us is the cycle time on money. We feel like we're
Mm-hmm.
pretty cash poor sometimes, just because before we could list something and it's gone in like 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
I miss those days. But now, stuff can be sitting. I think our average days on market's like 70 days.
Wow.
So, tripling, quadrupling the time the money's out there,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it could leave you a little bit cash strapped.
Yeah, it's like you're just end the holding, and like now I don't know if you stage your flips or not, but staging it for an extra couple of months. So it definitely can erode the profit margin when things are
Oh,
moving.
yeah.
So um, when looking at the business that you've done, what would you say is the secret sauce to your guys' business? What comes easy to you that maybe other people find difficult to do?
So I think for us, it's the marketing piece of it.
Mm,
My partner is very good about thinking, hey, what are types of properties or marketing strategies that maybe people aren't always targeting? Because stuff in San Antonio is fairly competitive. We're definitely a bigger
yeah,
market. And
yeah.
so just trying to think, how can we get creative with our marketing strategies to get sellers to respond? For example, one of the marketing strategies we use is mail, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
If someone's in pre-foreclosure, they're going to get a million pieces of mail. And so how can
Yeah,
you stand out to them, right?
yeah,
And so for us, it's probably the marketing piece, whether that's getting creative with it, and then also just being consistent. I think something that I see with a lot of newer people that want to go directly off market to the seller is that they'll spend, a couple $1,000s maybe on some mail, and then they'll stop for a couple months. And then
yeah.
they'll do it again, they stop.
Consistency.
And so having that consistency, I think, is really important too.
Yeah, I would always say to people who are getting into the marketing game is like buy all of your marketing for the year, or at least commit to doing it for
Mhm.
12 months because um, so many times I'll see a bandit sign go up and you'll call them and they're out of business by the time they're out of business
Yep.
or they're not
Yep.
picking up. And it's just like, okay, why even put the sign up, man? Like, why even spend the couple $1,000s if you're not going to be into it for like 6 months or a year? So if you're going to be doing any sort of real estate marketing, I've seen people hold on to letters for, I had a guy call me 2 years. 2 years
Mhm.
ago, I dropped the letter out. Now it's the time.
Wow.
So, like if you're going to use a burner phone number, like keep the minutes on it. Don't just like put a bunch of marketing out and then let the phone go dead. Like you're burning money on both ends. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, stay consistent, stay open for business if you can. There's reasons why people go in and out. So mail, that's interesting. So what would you say is a pro tip for someone who's thinking about going that direction to stand out? What would you say is a tip without obviously giving away your secret sauce on that? But what would be
Sure.
some advice you have to people who are doing marketing for deals?
Sure. So I would say when it comes to mail, trying to create some sort of, so we use custom postcards. We design our
Yeah.
own custom postcards that we send out. It's very has a local feel to it. For
Yeah.
example, San Antonio, people think in the Riverwalk is a big attraction in San Antonio. So we might have one of the Riverwalk is a good example. And just stuff to give the local feel to where it doesn't look like another yellow
Black and
card that just
yellow, we
says,
buy
we'll buy your house
houses. Yeah.
cash, right?
Yeah.
So I would say that, and then trying to figure out maybe lists, data lists and stuff to pull that people aren't always hitting. There's always a low-hanging fruit, the pre-foreclosure,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the eviction ones and stuff. But if you can think, hey, maybe I can go after something a little bit more creative, those are the ones that usually are the juicier
Yeah.
deals, I'll say, with the
Spend
profit
5 or 10 minutes more
Yeah.
time thinking about what the list could be
Mhm.
than just like buying your list. That's the one thing. I mean, it's a good start, but I always say like the easier it is, the more people who are doing that activity. Like Facebook ads or whatever. It's the easier it is to do, the more people are going to be doing it, because people don't like challenging things. So challenge
Absolutely.
yourself with your list, right?
Absolutely.
So, if you were to start all over again, if you were to start right from scratch, what would you do differently, if anything?
So knowing what I know now, I would say I don't really know if I would change too much other than I think that um I would say if you have the money, I would say that I actually am an advocate for like paying for coaching and those sort of programs. And I'm not someone that's going to join a million programs. I actually just started off with one program. It's one of my buddies, Ryan Dossie, his group TCF. I'll give him a little plug here. His whole thing is, hey, how do I market directly to sellers, and what does that look like? And so I think because I was able to join that course and surround myself with just good people like my business partner Aaron, that really sped up the timeline for me. And so I would
Collapsing the
say,
time
yeah, I would
frame.
say the first thing is just like getting in the right spaces and connecting with the right people.
Yeah.
Because even if it's, hey, I'll work a deal for free just to learn the ropes, I think that will get you so much farther faster than just
Yeah.
trying to figure it out all by yourself. Even though there's free information out there, it's just hard to tell what's real versus
And
what's
what's working, right? That video could be 10 years old. So you got
definitely.
to stay current. So yeah, I like that, collapsing time frames, especially when it comes to marketing, because you can waste so much money
Mhm.
sending the wrong thing out there. Like that just I've sent campaigns out with like very, very low conversion. I was like, I'm
Mhm.
never doing that again. Or like you send a campaign out and people like are mad. You're like, okay,
Oh yeah,
I'm not doing that one again. So like you can certainly save yourself a lot of money and time by just figuring out what works, and you don't have to be the one that made the mistake. So buying someone else's time or using your time, which do you prefer, right?
exactly. And I'll also say that like just I think that any strategy honestly works. You just got to stick to it. So at the beginning, I was actually doing some like cold texting by myself because I didn't have a lot of capital to spend on marketing, and so
Yeah.
that yielded me some deals. I just had to really concentrate on that for 6 months. And so people always say like one's better than the other, and I think like honestly, you can be successful with anything. You just gotta put in enough like time to see it through,
Yeah.
to see the fruits of your labor.
Yeah. What's the number one converting real estate strategy to get deals? Being consistent. There it is.
Oh,
Just
yep,
be
exactly.
consistent and do whatever you want to do, but just do it over and
Mhm.
over and over again. Obviously, there's limits to that, but it seems like the more podcasts I do, the more I hear whatever it is you're going to do, just be consistent with it and you'll get a result. So,
Absolutely.
if people want to connect with you, they want to reach out, they want to find out more about your business and, ultimately what it is that you guys are doing, how do they find you? What should they do?
Absolutely. So I love for anyone to reach out to me with any questions. Best place is probably on Instagram. So my Instagram name is Investor Jason Lee, and that's Lee with two E's at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the best place. Love to like help anyone out and just connect with good people.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you stopping by, and um, that's uh, it's crazy, what you can do, and the velocity that you've been able to do. So, hats off to you and you guys, and all the best.
Thanks. I really appreciate you having me on. It was a great time.
Yeah, no problem. And until next time, guys, we'll catch you on the next episode.
Hey there, I really hope you enjoyed that episode. And as always, if you want to listen to more daily interview content, make sure you subscribe. And if you're an active real estate investor and you're doing deals and you'd like to get featured on this show, then just head over to daveinterviewyou.com. Now at moneypartnerformula.com, we help real estate investors to create a process for predictably getting capital so they can do more deals without relying on hard money lenders or the banks. We do this by building them a private capital marketing system. Now, if you want help turning yourself into a big money capital attraction machine, then book a call with our team to see how we can help. Just visit moneypartnerformula.com to find out more. All right, take care, and we'll see you on the next interview.